When we dream united, we see the future we wish to build. When we inspire united, we can turn these dreams into reality. When we achieve united, we give students the education they deserve. When we lift united, we help our friends find jobs worthy of their talents. When we thrive united, we prove that health is the greatest wealth of all. When we build united, we show that education, income, and health are the building blocks of opportunity. When we share united, we discover just how strong our shoulders are. When we give united, we invest in a better tomorrow. When we lead united, we launch an unstoppable force. And when we live united, we put opportunity in the hands of all North Texans. Give, advocate, volunteer.
Well, good morning, Dallas. I'm Charlene Lake, and I am so happy to be able to welcome you to AT&T's global headquarters and to the kickoff of the United Way of Metropolitan Dallas's fundraising campaign. So welcome to everybody who's joining us virtually, and welcome to those of you who are socially distanced here in our lobby. We are coming to you live from AT&T's Discovery District here in Dallas, and this is a place where we have combined technology and entertainment and culture for unique experiences, and we're so happy that you're one of the first few to be able to enjoy it. So as a modern media company, AT&T has a very large family of employees. We have a large family of brands, including a range of entertainment brands under Warner Media. And we consider those very talented actors we work with as our extended family. So there are many actors who have heartstrings to Dallas. Many actors who have heartstrings to Dallas and to the United Way. So before we get into today's event, I want to share with you a special message from one of our favorite actors, Dallas native Luke Wilson.
Hi everybody, actor Luke Wilson here. You might know me from Old School or Legally Blonde or the DC comic show Stargirl and the upcoming football film 12 Mighty Orphans, filmed in Fort Worth. But that's not why you're all here. You're here to talk about the community we all love, North Texas, and the aspiration that every North Texan, regardless of race or zip code, has the opportunity and access needed to achieve their full potential. It's never been more important that we support our community, but North Texas has always been resilient, thanks to the support of community leaders like all of you. So I invite you all to support your community orgs that are making this happen, like the United Way. You can donate from your home, which is where we're all spending most of our time anyways, and it's super easy. Just go to unitedwaydallas.org. Thanks, Dallas, and stay safe, and look forward to seeing you back in North Texas.
A big thanks to Luke for making some time for us today. You know, it is so appropriate for us to host this important event from AT&T's Transformed Space because this is all about another transformation. This is about United Way's focus on transforming North Dallas. So I'm really honored to be able to serve as United Way's board chair this year, especially because the timing of the service coincides with the launch of AT&T of United Way Aspire 2030 goals. These are the community goals for the next decade that United Way has set out. Now, some of you joined us last week as we launched those Aspire United 2020 goals with Dallas Mayor Eric Johnson. And I think the mayor said it best when he said United Way is a critical connection point for civic groups, for corporations, and for nonprofits that are dedicated to making a lasting impact. A lasting impact. You know, to make a lasting impact, you have to have a collective vision, and you have to have a collective effort, and you have to have a collective commitment. And that's what the United Way's annual campaign is all about. So this year, I am so happy that I have a friend and colleague at the helm of this annual campaign, Ann CHOW, who is CEO of AT&T Business. And if you haven't met Ann, you're in for a treat. You'll learn that one of the words that summarizes her leadership style is energy. Her energy is boundless, and that makes her a perfect leader for the annual campaign this year in this extraordinary period of this community and of this country. So Ann's business unit serves 3 million business customers. Recently, Ann was named to Fortune magazine's 10 Powerful Women on Your Radar list. She holds many firsts and is truly a trailblazer for the next generation of leaders. She's not only the first woman to hold the position of CEO of AT&T Business and the first woman of color CEO, she is the first female and person of color to chair the United Way campaign. So Ann's going to tell you more about her focus and about her goals for the United Way this year. But first, I'm going to turn this podium over to another high-energy, visionary leader, Jennifer Sampson, the CEO of the United Way of Metropolitan Dallas. Just help me welcome her.
Thank you, Charlene, and good morning, everyone. Welcome to AT&T and our annual campaign kickoff. I share and echo Charlene's comments about Ann Chow's enthusiasm. It certainly is contagious, but so is Charlene's leadership and dedication as the United Way of Metropolitan Dallas board chair this year. Charlene got involved with United Way when we had just started evaluating our community impact results annually on scorecards. And when she joined the board, she insisted that what we measure would shape everything we do. And she required that we evaluate how effective and transformative we are with every donor dollar we invest. She brought personal passion, business discipline, and brand recognition to reinforce United Way's strategy, and her leadership is a game changer for this region. Together, Charlene and Ann are a dynamic duo, and they have led this important launch today, will lead this launch today, and also Friday's launch of Aspire United 2030 goals to kick off this campaign with a scope and set up expectations in ways that we could have never done on our own. So we are so fortunate and so grateful to have them serving in United Way's top 2 leadership positions this year. Thank you both. Okay, in a world of meetings that are built around Zoom, I want to slow down for just a few minutes and ask you to picture with me the North Texas community following the pandemic. I'm not talking about going to a Cowboys game where they'll be winning when they're back in AT&T Stadium, I'm certain, or a restaurant packed with diners outside in the AT&T Discovery District, or retail stores filled with shoppers. I'm talking about a community where every North Texan, regardless of race or zip code, has the opportunity and resources necessary to thrive. Let that sink in for just a minute. Every North Texan. It doesn't matter who you are, where you live, where you work, or the size or type of company that you work for. Every person with the same opportunity to achieve their full potential. This isn't some unrealistic goal. It is a real opportunity for lasting change that is within our grasp. But in order to achieve it, we have to move past some of the stubborn obstacles that have impeded our progress for decades and generations. A budget-starved education system, living wage jobs, equal access to health care. You know the challenges as well as I do. And achieving this goal will take hard work. But we're not afraid of hard work in North Texas. We live in a region that was built on hard work. It was built on persistence, true grit, and a commitment to excellence. Today, we are the 4th largest metro area in the country, and we're still growing. We live in a region that was also built on the power of unity. Unity that drives lasting change. And together, thanks to the support from individuals, corporations, many represented here today, United Way is working towards this new reality, where opportunity is in the hands of all of our neighbors. In these turbulent times, we know that issues of racial equity and social justice have been magnified. What you may not know is that United Way has a long and strong track record of identifying the root causes of the systemic disparities and inequities that lead to challenges in our local community. And United Way has a long and strong track record of identifying those solutions and programs and partnerships to help solve for those challenges. On Friday, we were so pleased to announce a collaborative effort to support our racial equity work with the Dallas Citizens Council, the Dallas Regional Chamber, and BCG to advance racial equity across North Texas, fueled by a 3-year, $1 million investment from BCG. Aaron George, managing partner of the BCG Dallas office, is here with us today, and we want to express our gratitude and thanks for your commitment and for making this investment possible. Thank you, Aaron. Philanthropic investments like these from the corporate sector have a direct and positive impact on the North Texas region. And in addition to this wonderful gift of time and talent and resources from BCG, today we are here to celebrate more transformational corporate investments. And if we do our job right today, we will inspire even more generosity in the coming weeks and months. Last Friday, Dallas Mayor Eric Johnson joined us on this stage as we launched the Aspire United 2030 goals. Mayor Johnson, along with a host of corporate, civic, and nonprofit partners, played a key role in the development of these goals. And many of you were here with us in this socially distanced audience. Together, we made a commitment with thousands of hand raisers, doers, and donors, ensuring that every North Texan, regardless of race or zip code, has that access and opportunity to reach their full potential. And to create that type of lasting change that lifts entire communities, we're committed to 3 levers that address those root cause challenges and that will drive progress over the next 10 years. In education, we will increase by 50% the number of students who are reading at grade level by 3rd grade. In income, we will increase by 20% the number of North Texas young adults who earn a living wage, adding nearly $800 million annually to the economy here in North Texas. And in health, we will increase to 96% the number of North Texans with access to affordable healthcare insurance. Are these goals aspirational? Absolutely they are. Are they impossible? Absolutely not. The business leaders gathered here today are experts in mobilizing individuals and institutions with the resources, the profile, the imagination, and the demonstrated commitment to Dallas's future to do the seemingly impossible. They are part of the team that's building a Dallas to revolutionize the way American cities address some of their most intractable problems. And this morning, I'm delighted to announce that this group of forward-thinking leaders who believe in and are committed to the Aspire 2030 goals, this group of leaders has already come forward with generous seed funding to launch this campaign. And I think this calls for a virtual drum roll, please. These leaders, collectively, have helped us raise $12 million in just 8 weeks. This is the strongest statement ever made at the beginning of our annual fundraising campaign about the commitment and resolve we have in this region to generate the resources necessary to build a stronger future in education, income, and health. And I'm so pleased to give a shout out of great gratitude to AT&T, Atmos Energy, Vistra Corporation, Kimberly-Clark, JP Morgan Chase, Frito-Lay and the PepsiCo Foundation, Hilti Corporation, the United Way of Metropolitan Dallas, who walks the talk. We've already run our annual campaign at United Way, Carol and Kevin March, the Mike and Mary Terry Foundation, the Reese Jones Foundation, and the City of Dallas through CARES Act funding, All of these organizations collectively have made an extraordinary and wonderful commitment. And while this is great news on our kickoff day, I have to remind you that we're just getting started. We are counting on these early gifts from corporations, foundations, and individuals to be a catalyst to inspire others to step up and help us build upon this momentum. We're at the starting gate now, and our annual campaign and Aspire United 20 goals have just launched, and we're counting on a community of support through engagement and financial assistance to help us generate the resources necessary to build that strong North Texas that we aspire to be. You'll learn more about this collective action that will help us realize this aspiration from those who are leading the way this morning: Jim Hinton, Stephen Williams, John Paris, David Park, and Kurt Morgan. And the leader of the pack is Ann Chow, our annual campaign chair for 2020-2021. As Charlene said, Ann has boundless energy. She's a visionary leader, a fierce competitor, a diversity and inclusion champion, a gifted communicator, and a brilliant strategist. She will take this campaign places we could never go alone, and it's my great honor to welcome Ann to the stage this morning.
Thanks so much, Jennifer and Charlene, for your lovely words, and thank you both for your amazing leadership and friendship and passion over the years. I'm looking forward to this year we have together. Okay, so thank you all so much for joining us here today, here in person, physically distanced, not socially distanced, okay, as well as those of you that are out there watching us on webcast. I am so honored and humbled to serve as your 2020-2021 campaign chair. So this year has given us special meaning and purpose for what I'm hoping to achieve, what all of us can achieve together in this upcoming year. Over the past few months, we've been challenged with multiple crises, not only a global pandemic, an economic recession, but also systemic racial and social injustices. These crises have catalyzed me to reflect personally on the power of connections. Without the ability to connect and stay connected, our world would be in a very, very different place. Connections are what unite us behind a common purpose. Connections bring people, communities, and businesses together. It's how we're able to enable our first responders, provide doctors life-saving information on the front lines, to teach our children virtually, or even just simply speak, text, or Snapchat, and stay in touch with those whom we love. It is how we're actually able to gather here today, both physically separated, yet virtually connected to kick off United Way's annual campaign. It is what enables us to serve as champions together for our community, this place we all call home. Connections are what brings us together, united in a common desire to do the best that we can do for our community, both today and into the future. We're here to work towards giving North Texans the tools they need to live longer, more prosperous, and healthier lives. The COVID-19 pandemic has made this goal even more challenging than before. Everyone here has been impacted in some way, and some more than others. 2020 has yielded opportunities for key learnings, but it has also exposed deep lines of inequality. We all know that we have work to do for all members of our community. And it's why I've decided to focus my role as campaign chair this year on United Way's pillar of health. We know this pandemic has taken a toll on all aspects of our health, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, or even spiritually. Our communities have been greatly impacted. However, data shows that our communities of color, both nationally and locally, especially our Black communities, have been disproportionately impacted by both infection rates as well as death. Nationwide, Black people are dying at 2.4 times the rate of white people. And in the Dallas community, COVID-19 cases are highest in the southern half of Dallas in predominantly Black neighborhoods that have been historically impacted by inequality and disparity. Let that sink in. You and I know we can do better. And we also know that we can do better for all North Texans, regardless of zip code, race, gender, age, or any particular demographic for that matter. And if we're successful, and when we're successful, prosperity should be attainable to all members of our community. Healthy people and healthy places are critical for healthy families, a healthy economy, and for each individual to thrive and reach their fullest potential. What has given me hope over the past few months is the fact that together we have been anchored by a common denominator, that we are all part of the human race, embracing our strengths and weaknesses, our skills, our experiences, our differences, and our learnings. And the common denominator of we, the people, is serving as the foundation for us to come together, demonstrating that we are stronger together. Our power lies in our common humanity. And in fact, as Jennifer mentioned, just last Friday, we launched United Way's Aspire 2030 goals, emphasizing our theme of unity and the importance for all of us across the private sector, public sector, nonprofit sector, community members, constituents, and more, coming together to ensure progress. We can come together, united, to fight common enemies, to move forward, whether it is the virus or systemic racism. It is time for us to seek solutions to problems that we have been putting off for too long, whether they be in the areas of economic, social, educational, or holistic well-being. We can unite and win. And as a result, we all have a role in supporting each other as our North Texas community not only returns and recovers, but also renews and revitalizes to thrive again. We cannot go back to the way things were. Our connections will help ensure that every person has the opportunity, the foundation, and the power to move forward. Now is the time for Dallas to prove that we are all in this together. And together with technology, there is even more potential than there has ever been before. As an example, the healthcare industry is going through a massive digitally sourced transformation, which have been accelerated by the pandemic. Technology is enabling us to do more for healthcare than I have time to mention here this morning. We're cleaning hospitals with germ-zapping robots. Telehealth has exploded and proliferated across the country and across the globe. And the melding of the physical and digital worlds is triggering new solutions which will help advance medical progress and breakthroughs. Transformation that previously took decades seems like it's just happening in a couple of days now. And I know that that's just the beginning. And it's all thanks to the power of connections. Connections, again, across the private sector, across the public sector, across the nonprofit sector, across the community, and all constituents who care about North Texas. I want to also offer my thanks to everyone who has donated us thus far to make our United Way vision a reality. We couldn't be more thankful for the generosity and support that we've already received. Every dollar counts and will help push us closer to achieving our goals. And what's been clear ever since my parents instilled it in me as immigrants to America, to be good, we must do good. We are all united as North Texans. Together, we can accomplish anything. Thank you again to everyone. Now, next up on the agenda, I'd like to invite our panelists up on stage. Kurt Morgan, President and CEO of Vistra Corporation. Round of applause for Kurt. John Paris, President of the Mid-Texas Division of Atmos Energy. And I'd also like to note that David Park, SVP Utility Operations of Atmos, is also here providing his support in the audience. Stephen Williams, CEO of PepsiCo Foods North America. And again, harnessing the power of technology, we also have Jim Hinton, CEO of Baylor Scott & White, with us virtually. We appreciate each of you being here with all of us today. Hello, gentlemen.
Morning.
Morning, morning. It's wonderful to see you.
Good
Now
to be
without
here.
the mask, because we are in fact physically distanced, aren't we?
We are, we are.
Okay, wonderful. So let's start at the beginning here. The importance of investing, when you think about the power of humanity, it starts at the very earliest years of life, doesn't it? John, I understand that this is a key focus for you guys. Can you tell us about Atmos's commitment to those critically important early years?
Absolutely, and first off, let me just say this. If you're not enthused after hearing those three ladies speak, I don't know what. I was about ready to jump out of my chair and run out and shout. So we're truly humbled to be here today. Atmos Energy is committed to increasing early learning and literacy, and United Way is the perfect partner to help us achieve the greatest community impact. They worked with our team to help design the perfect way to achieve our mutual goal of improving early childhood literacy, specifically empowering the kids in our community to read on level by 3rd grade. Today, through our Fueling Safe and Thriving Communities program, we are very happy and proud to announce we are donating $1 million to the United Way Metropolitan Dallas and Books, and with our other partner, Books, to provide hundreds of virtual books to thousands of young children and their families to build the foundation for literacy, leading to reading proficiently by the 3rd grade. Kids who are reading on level by 3rd grade are 4 times more likely to graduate from high school and are prepared for college or a career than those who are behind. We're investing in today's preschoolers, tomorrow's 3rd graders, and our future workforces. Our investment represents the heart and soul of our employees, and we're honored to come alongside them. The United Way, our corporate partners, parents, educators, and nonprofits in our community to do our part to fuel bright minds and healthy futures for the kids in our community, providing them with the tools they need to achieve their significant milestone in their education. So thank you, Ann.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. It's so true that today's children are our future, aren't they? And thank you so much. What an amazing investment. So who wants to go next?
I'll jump in.
Great.
I'll jump in first. That's awesome. I want to thank you, your company, David and John. Amazing, amazing work. I'd be remiss if I didn't spend a few minutes bragging about our relationship with the United Way. It's been an incredible journey. We've had a partnership with the United Way for over 40 years, so since the 1970s, and it has continued to flourish. And, our marquee month comes up here with the United Way giving campaign. And our Day of Caring is always the biggest, and I'll say it again, the biggest in Dallas, which we're very proud of. It provides our employees an opportunity to engage in the community and really give back in a meaningful way. Over the last 11 years, we've raised $31 million over the last 11 years, and it's the 3rd largest campaign consistently in Dallas, and we just love the partnership. And so when we thought about how do we make a meaningful difference, and Jennifer and I talk about this a lot, like forever in Dallas, we looked for a partner that we knew we'd been there with and we could get there with moving forward. And because of the relationship, we kicked off our signature program, which is Southern Dallas Thrives, here in Dallas. And over the last 2 years, this program has provided us a focus that is that's different than we've experienced before. And our goal is to erase, not just blunt it, but to erase the legacy of generational poverty in the part of the city that we all know needs it most. And it really has a heightened focus against women, because we know without women in the household that can thrive, the household won't thrive. And so there were 4 really key focus areas. The first one is childcare, and that's ensuring that we have safe, accredited childcare in the community, mentoring and resources for school-age children, particularly in high school, meals that we provide through Food for Good. We do about 1 million meals a year in Dallas. And then workforce development, making sure that we're developing residents in South Dallas so they can be in the workforce and have living wage jobs. The Frito-Lay and PepsiCo Foundation, since 2018, when we kicked off this program with the United Way here in Dallas, we raised more than $3 million in funding toward these events. And again, it's about volunteer hours, sponsoring and mentoring students at South Oak Cliff, and providing meals to homeless at City Square. And you know, this year with the impact of COVID, we had to make a pivot, and you talked about it, Ann. I mean, healthcare. Making sure that we can provide help and relief for people. We helped almost 6,000 people through COVID, and in addition to the meals we were already giving away, stepped up to give away more meals. And I'll tell you though, you know, it seems like, you know, one step forward, couple steps back. There's still so much need in the community. And so, given that, I'm proud to announce today that Frito-Lay and the PepsiCo Foundation, we're committing, it's a match for companies that'll step up. We're gonna put $5 million on the table for the next 5 years for those. Great. Yep. And we'll match gifts up to $5,000, and that's where it starts. You never know, depending on who comes to the table. So we're excited. We're excited about helping North Texas thrive, and we're certainly excited about making sure our citizens in Southern Dallas thrive.
Thank you so much, Stephen. It was an incredible, comprehensive approach to health in our communities, and I love the challenge there. I mean, you guys are demonstrating that we are truly in this together. So thank you for that. Yep. Kurt, how about at Vistra?
Yeah, so look, I'm going to take, you know, if Stephen's going to put that match out there, I'm going to hit it. So we're in on that deal. So we're going to give $1 million over 5 years. By the way, I feel privileged to be on the stage with you guys and the commitment that you're making. I know when Jennifer came to talk to us doing what she normally does so well, like no one else can do, and I hate to tell her this, but she had me at hello. You know, we were in. You know, I'll tell you guys, 2020 is going to be known for COVID, but for me, it's going to be known for something else. It's going to be known for when corporations lifted their head up and they formed a new capitalism, a new bond with stakeholders, not just investors and shareholder value, but communities and customers and employees and suppliers. And this is all about community. And if you think about it, I mean, how can, this is such, it makes so much sense to help a community. How can a company prosper in a community if the community doesn't prosper? That's right. It doesn't work. And so if you want to be a sustainable company in this day and age, you got to broaden your stakeholders. And so this was a no-brainer for us. You know, I inherited a company back in 2016 that has a legacy of giving and caring. I tell you, like no other company I've been around, and I'm proud of that. And I'm also proud of the fact that we have an unbelievable partnership with United Way. And I want to continue that effort. So I'm going to challenge my colleagues out there, if they're watching this, to also step up and live that new capitalism, broaden that stakeholder base, and give back to the community, because it is good business, but it's also the right thing to do.
That's right. Absolutely. Well said.
Thanks so much.
Well said. Right.
Yeah, really well said. Kurt, I love how what you just outlined is what my parents have been telling me since the beginning, which is, right, to be good, we must do good, right? And especially we, as the private sector, we have an obligation, right? And we have a responsibility. That's wonderful. Right. So it is really, I mean, it's so amazing to see so many corporations stepping up to the community this way, and I'm honored to be here with all of you. Stephen, I know you're going to play a key role in guiding United Way's equity focus, right? Which 2020 will also be remembered for, right? Is that an inflection point in surfacing some realities that have been there for a long time, right? And this new partnership, thank you to BCG, the Dallas Regional Chamber, the Dallas Citizens Council, and United Way. Can you share a little bit about this work with us?
I can, and you know, it's interesting how things intersect. I mean, we have a great partnership with BCG for many years in the business, also United Way. I'm on the board for the Dallas Chamber, and then we work a lot with the Dallas Citizens Council, and so I was honored, frankly, to have an opportunity to have an impact in this area that is so important to me. You know, the community was laid bare with COVID, right, and the social injustice bubbled right to the surface. And I tell you, I couldn't be more excited than to have the opportunity to work with this collective group and advising how we move Dallas to the next phase. It's a very exciting time for me.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for your leadership there as well. I mean, there's so much transformation that's going on here at so many different levels, and this is really what it's going to take on both strategic and tactical and committed levels in all facets of our community. Thank you for that. And again, I know Jim is probably feeling a little bit left out here, so I'm going to, Jim, give you a heads up here. We've got Jim Hinton from Baylor Scott and White again joining us virtually. So Jim, health and wellness, health and wellness are the foundation for education and economic outcomes. You know, we all know that the greatest wealth is health, but these foundational and fundamental building blocks are out of reach for too many North Texans. As the leader of a technology company, you would expect that I believe technology can and should be a game changer in creating better health outcomes. Can you tell us your vision, Jim, for building a better community and your work with the United Way?
Well, I'm really excited and proud that the mission of Baylor Scott and White Health is to provide and promote healthcare and well-being for all individuals in North Texas. And we are laser focused on how to do that more effectively and more efficiently. But it's really about a couple of things. One is access to healthcare and the affordability of the healthcare that people have access to. And you know, the needs are great. They're extensive, and this COVID-19 pandemic has certainly pointed up some gaps in the healthcare system in North Texas that have to be addressed. Now, fortunately, we have some great community-minded healthcare organizations in Dallas, in North Texas, that can help work on this issue. And partnering with organizations that are technology-minded may allow us to bring some very innovative solutions to the table. And I think that's going to be the secret sauce of really making a difference in the health of those in North Texas.
Great, thanks so much. Thanks so much, Jim. Really appreciate your comments and your leadership and the partnership with your organization. So I want to take this moment now to also thank another big supporter of United Way's work who couldn't be with us here today. I'd like to give a shout out to Kimberly-Clark Corporation, who is generously committed to a $1 million investment to support our Aspire United 2030 goals and objectives across education, income, and health. We are so grateful to our friends and supporters at Kimberly-Clark Corporation. Round of applause for Kimberly-Clark. You know, and you know, one of the questions I get, by the way, as an aside, is why did you agree to do this, right? Why did you agree? This is exactly why I agreed to do this. Is that there is so much inspiration, there is so much generosity across our community, and we can do more together. Okay. All right. So now I'd like to make this a little personal. I will share that I'm doing this largely because we're actually in person here, which is a joyous phenomena, okay, I will say. And so I'd like to ask each of you, why does this work matter to you personally, right? We each know that, you know, you can only be great at things that you're passionate about, right, that you love to do. And clearly your organizations, but each of you as leaders have demonstrated that passion and that commitment over and over again. And I want to know why, okay, because this may help others out there channel their inner passion in support of our community. So Jim, this time I'll start with you so that you feel the love. Hopefully Jim's still there. There we go.
You know, I'm a relative newcomer to the state of Texas, and there is so much to admire here in this state. And why this work personally matters to me is that I know that if we bring the passion and the innovation and the compassion and commitment to those that we have served so well in this state in so many other ways to some of these healthcare challenges, that I know that we're going to make a huge difference. And it matters to me personally because we have a lot of young people that need a better start than they're getting right now. And together, holding hands in partnership, I know we can do that, and that will be extremely gratifying for all of us.
Thanks so much, Jim. Stephen, how about you?
Yeah, so, you know, I grew up in a small town in northeastern Oklahoma, and, you know, I knew scarcity, but I also was fortunate to have parents that taught us a lot about service and helping others. And I firmly believe that those of us who have great fortune need to pay it forward. We need to pay it forward. And I tell you, there's so much need in the community, and it gives us an opportunity as humans, as colleagues, as people, right, to do better by doing better. And so I have a great passion for lifting up everyone that I can.
Thank you, and we're so grateful to have you as part of this journey together. Thank you. John?
Stephen, you know, much is given, much is expected is what my parents really instilled in me. And, you know, especially education. My grandmother was a teacher. My parents were both college professors. I have a sister, a brother-in-law that are teachers, a niece that's a teacher. So education is really that foundation, and it's just been really near and dear to me and to our company. But I'm going to ask David Park, who's my teammate here, and he's actually on the United Way board. He has something he wants to share a little bit about what it's meant to him.
I couldn't let John have all the microphone here. You know, the United Way was particularly important to my family. My dad worked in a company for 30-something years that had United Way campaigns. So I remember being a part of them. And when he retired 20 years ago now, the first thing he did is went to a United Way agency that he loved, the Literacy Council in East Texas, and volunteered to teach people to read. And so now as we launch this initiative at Atmos to support kids reading on grade level by third grade, it makes me proud to be part of the kind of thing that my dad shadowed in our family. You know, that John talked about the $1 million commitment we're making here in Dallas. We're making an additional $1 million commitment across the 1,500 communities that we serve to focus on third grade reading. And this has just been a year of doubling down. When 50% of kids in our community don't read by grade level in third grade, it's time to double down. When you're Black or Hispanic, Latinx, in this community, you're twice as likely. It's time to double down and us all get behind this Aspire United 2030.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and your passion and commitment. Kurt?
Yeah, so, you know, for me, I had sort of conveniently tucked away in my mind that somehow everything was okay in America, that we had pockets of issues, but I said to myself, systemic? I don't think so. And then I, like many of us all here, watched what happened with George Floyd, and I tell you, that one shook me to the core. And then we had 25 sessions, we're still doing them, with our employees, people of color, all colors, and over 300 people. And I heard stories of people that work at power plants that had to drive through predominantly white neighborhoods, but Black men and women taking roads outside the town so that if a police officer saw them in a nice truck or whatever they were driving to work at 5 in the morning because they had a shift, that they wouldn't get pulled over. Or people having a hard time, African-American family, when do they have a conversation with their children? 5, age 8, 12, to let them know that things aren't exactly what they should be. And frankly, I lifted my head up a little bit and I said, you know, Kurt, we can't outsource this. You know, we got to live this, and we've got to come from the heart. And that's what I believe. And that's why I said that corporations, in my view, have an obligation today to step up and to be a part of the communities and to help. But it was a game changer for me. And I grew up in a small town too, and it was a very diverse town. My dad was a high school basketball coach, and we had, a lot of African Americans, Hispanics, everybody. I thought I knew what was what, and frankly, I did not. So I want to be a part of the solution, and so does our company. But that's really why I want to be a part of this, and I want to help the parts of Dallas that really need the help. Because as I said before, it just makes a lot of sense, right, to help the communities where you have your business. I mean, it makes so much sense that, I wish we'd have done more earlier.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Kurt, you actually touched on something that's really near and dear to my heart, and this notion that diversity and inclusion is not enough, right? And I'll explain my comments here in a moment. Inclusion implies that somebody is choosing to include the other person, right? What we're after as a community, as a society, and what we must do here across North Texas is to ensure equity, which means that every single person belongs, right? And this is a really powerful step, and this is really what drives United Way, right, in terms of our Aspire 2030 goals and our platform for investment in our community and prosperity for all. I'll share with you guys what drives me personally. Each of you have actually touched on it. I love the fact that our careers have not really directly intersected. Certainly our personal lives have not directly intersected, but there are so many common themes here. I'm a proud second-generation American. My parents immigrated to this country in the 60s. They immigrated here with less than $500 US to their name, and so we did not have a lot growing up. But they came to this country because they believed that America was a place that hope lived, and that you could be anything and whoever you wanted to be as long as you worked hard enough, did the right things, paid it forward, and provided service and caring for others. Each of us now here on the stage, right, we have been blessed with incredible opportunities to have an impact, not only in the business world, but in the community. And it would be impossible for every single one of us to pay back every single person who helped us along the way. So, as Stephen said, all we can do and all we must do is pay it forward. That's right. And that's what this is about, right? That's what this is about. Okay, and so finally, because this is a salesperson in me, so you knew I was going to ask this question. So what is it that we need, gentlemen? What is it that we need from the corporate community here in North Texas, all the corporations out there who care about North Texas, okay, not just reside here, but also who care about North Texas? Yeah. Jim, I'm going to start with you again to wrap this last question up.
What we need from the corporate community is for them to do what they have been doing to build such successful businesses and apply that to the challenges here in Dallas. These are some of the most respected companies in the world. They're right here in our community. They can help solve this problem. So we invite them to be on the field with the rest of us, making a huge difference.
Thanks so much, Jim. Kurt?
Well, I think there's some obvious things, money, and the reality is, money helps. Yes. So that's pretty easy, and I think it's important. But I think it's also time, commitment, and I think it starts at the top. And, that's how culture is driven, in my mind, two ways, one through process, but the other one from, if you walk the talk from the top and you actually follow through on what you say. And so I think we have to have the commitment. We need to be vocal about it, and we need to challenge our colleagues to step up and do the right thing. And I don't think it works anymore to kind of sit back in the weeds. I think we have to be out in the forefront. So I think those are really key ingredients for us to be successful and to do what we want to do.
Thank you. John?
We use the same phrase, walk the talk, and I couldn't, those are great words. But I also say this, every dollar matters. And sometimes what happens, and because I grew up in a small town also, very common theme here, but Sometimes people think that, well, I'm just a small company. I've got a small campaign. It really doesn't matter. All dollars matter. And there's a lot of ways that companies can contribute. And so I just encourage everybody to get behind it, and now is the time. It's not during this whole 2020 year, you know, it might be easy to say, well, this has been an unusual year. This is the year to step up and really to lead. And together, we will make it happen.
Wonderful, thank you.
Boy, it's hard to follow all that, but I'll tell you, I think it is. It is about leaning in, giving of your gifts, giving of your time. Mentioned BCG. Thank you again for giving your resources to help us do better. I think companies have an obligation to give what they have. Give of your resources, give of your time, give your treasure, right, to make Dallas a better place. We're so prosperous. We shouldn't have those among us that are suffering. Just give.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for your powerful words and your guidance and your ask. This is all about giving. This is all about engaging. We are asking everybody out there to do their part, because the future of this community is ours to create, right? It is ours to create. And those of us in the private sector, we have an obligation to serve the community and engage the community and support the community in which we work, live, and someday play.
Yes.
Someday again we'll play.
Someday again.
Someday again we'll play. Okay, so the big contributions that you've heard here, again, no gift is too small. Give from the heart. Give what you can. We are hosting here at AT&T, and I'm sharing the campaign, as you all know now. I would be remiss if I didn't throw AT&T's hat into the ring, right? And today I want to share that AT&T is committing $1 million to support this campaign.
Very good.
Okay, so we're wrapping up our program here with this incredibly esteemed panel. So United Ways is the bridge between our corporate community and the nonprofit sector in Dallas. And we are making this commitment to strengthen those connections. I know each of these companies and each of these incredible leaders here who have joined me and joined United Way are all about strengthening these connections. I encourage all of you to join us in strengthening these connections, making the commitments, and please join us as we each live united. On that note, I'm going to ask Jennifer to come back up. No hugs this time.
Wow. I hope you could see me smiling. You couldn't see me smiling behind that mask, and I hope that I don't get misty-eyed in closing this great panel discussion today. Philanthropy, generosity, aspiration, unity, and change are alive and well in North Texas, and I am honored. It's a privilege to share this stage with so many partners and friends. Thanks each and every one of you for your commitment, for your confidence, and what you're doing to help build a stronger North Texas. We appreciate you, and I'm giving another round of applause. So it's my pleasure to close today's socially distanced event. I express my thanks to our amazing partners who've invested in this year's campaign. I want to thank each and every one of you who joined us in the audience today, and all of you who are watching online. And remember that our North Star is that commitment that all North Texans, regardless of race, place, or income, have the opportunity and access to reach their full potential. As you heard this morning, we are off to a strong start with $12 million to seed this year's fundraising campaign that CHOW will so ably lead with energy this year. And I gotta tell you, it's a strong start because it is a 400% increase over where we were when we started this campaign at the same time last year. That is significant. And with the extraordinary match from Frito-Lay and the PepsiCo Foundation, that $5 million. Thank you, Vistra, for taking that challenge. There's more matching dollars to come. We heard from Stephen, and who knows, if we're really aggressive in our fundraising, there might be more than $5 million. That's what I heard you say anyway. So there's opportunity for us to get to work, and we are ready to get to work. Now more than ever, we are motivated to change lives forever in North Texas and raise the funds necessary to do that. Because the need for our work is greater now than it has ever been before. And with this strong start, I'm confident that with continued support from the North Texas community, we are going to build upon these early investments and inspire others, even more corporations and individuals and foundations, to help us achieve our impact goals. So before I close us out today, I want to thank once again, each of our esteemed and august panel members today for their participation. Also, our corporate partners who are tuning in today, our fantastic nonprofit community who we support each and every day through our investments and our volunteer engagement. And as you heard Ann mention earlier, our goal through the annual campaign is to raise unrestricted funds that help United Way invest in those Aspire United 2030 goals. United Way was built to lead the programs and partnerships in collaboration with so many others in North Texas to power the type of impact necessary to drive lasting and measurable change. But we can't do it alone. The potential is ours together to make it happen. So united, we're going to transform the North Texas region into a community that serves as a model for other urban areas across the nation, and your commitment is essential. It starts with 3 words: count me in. And we're counting on you to go to the United Way website, www.unitedwaydallas.org, to make sure you're all counted. Whether you're a corporation or an individual, go to the website and sign on to support our shared community goals, and you can make a gift right there on the website. United Way invites all of you to join us. Our North Star is Aspire United 2030, and why that's important to me is I want to achieve these goals for our community in a community where my 13-year-old son, Hilton, grows up and I grow old. Because when we aspire united, we see the future we hope to build. When we give united, we invest in a better tomorrow. When we lead united, we launch an unstoppable force. And when we live united, we put opportunity in the hands of all North Texans. Thank you for joining us today. Live united, North Texas.